This comes from Larry Pitkowski and Keith Trauner at the Good Haven Fund. In your 1981 shareholder letter, you discussed returns on equity, interest rates, and inflation, and how difficult it was for many companies to function under inflationary conditions. Indeed, that Berkshire itself was not immune and could be negatively affected. Today, it seems like every central banker in the world is desperate to create inflation, something that is generally great for debtors, not so great for creditors, and difficult for owners and managers. Should investors and business owners be thinking more about inflation and higher interest rates after 30 years of declines in both? How would Berkshire behave differently if it became apparent that the future was turning inflationary?
Well, inflation would hurt us, but it would hurt most businesses. It doesn't. There are certain assets that, if highly leveraged, obviously would benefit from inflation. But well, we'll set up an inflationary condition. Let's just assume tonight that drones are set up over all of the United States, and they happen to drop $1 million in every household. Now, the question is, would the country be better off? Every individual would now have or every family would now have $1 million that they didn't have the day before. The one thing I can guarantee you is that Berkshire would be worse off at that point, obviously. Obviously what I've described would be wildly inflationary. The trick in that circumstances is to find out that you've got $1 million before anybody else finds out that they have, and you'll do very well if you're first. But essentially, you don't create wealth by inflation or by having. You can move it around, but you don't create it by inflation, and you don't. A firm like Berkshire, our earnings per share would go up. The intrinsic value of our business measured in dollars would go up, but under lots of inflation, unless we had leveraged those businesses, the value of your investment in real terms would go down. Charlie?
Well, we had a test of hyperinflation in Weimar, Germany, and the people who owned stocks in places like Berkshire got through, and they didn't prosper joyously, but they got through. And everybody else, practically, life insurance policies, bank deposits, you name it, got wiped out. And of course, if you create so much misery that you get a Hitler and a World War and a Holocaust and so forth, it's not a good thing to let things go that far. And so I don't like this huge confidence that all you have to do is just keep printing money and spending it. I think there's some limit to when that will work, and I am never going to forget Weimar, Germany. And I don't think any of the rest of us should either. We can handle a little bit of subpar growth for some stretch or other, but it would be quite dangerous to let the whole damn thing blow up because a bunch of crazy politicians were printing money.
If you own a home, though, with a very large mortgage and you have incredible inflation, it wipes out the mortgage, and you've still got the home. I mean,
in Weimar, Germany, they gave you the mortgage back at the end. Well, it was very interesting. That's the one thing they did right.
He's way ahead of me, folks.